Would you rather be stuck in the forest with a man or a bear? Their responses triggered a conversation that sparked a whole lot of insane opinions about men versus bears and safety when it comes to women. What's up, YouTube? Welcome to What's Brewing. My name is Chishi Zed.
Drink the coffee, it'll make you feel better.
Been a while since we've done a What's Brewing segment. This is the longer form type of content, and I know a lot of you guys like this. If you're confused right now, it's going to make sense. Just stay tuned. It's that time where you need to brew yourself a cup of coffee, because what we're about to get into is, per usual, crazy. Now, an announcement that I have to just be honest with you guys and make sure I make is that I was wrong. I was wrong about the TikTok ban. And I think this is really important for me to touch on, just because a lot of the content that we usually talk about here comes from TikTok. As you guys know, I'm not tripping too much about the actual platform being gone, aside from the fact that there are a lot of people who are going to lose platforms that they've worked hard for. Now, I understand all the national security risks. I get it. If you need help, and this is just to anybody, if you need help knowing how I personally diversify platforms where I release content, shoot me a DM on Instagram, or email me at support@shishaz.com. Just say TikTok. I'll know that you're talking about help with transitioning your audience from TikTok to anywhere else. Maybe you want to come to YouTube. Whatever it is, I want to help people who are on there. Guys, let's get into the story. I need men to know that they matter. I really do. Because for some reason, it seems like the world is bent on making sure men feel like they don't. We're going to play this video here that just came up on screen. It's been going viral everywhere. At this point, it's reaching the tail end of its virality. But I've been anticipating addressing this topic for a while now. I'm just glad I finally get to talk about this. Men need to know they matter, because society pretends like the average man today is a villain. That's how they treat men. And videos like this definitely don't help. We've got a guy here. He's a street interview type guy. He goes around doing this type of thing. And in this video, he asks women, would you rather be stuck in the forest with a man or a bear? Their responses triggered a conversation that sparked a whole lot of insane opinions about men versus bears and safety when it comes to women. Let's check out the video first. Let's get it.
Would you rather be stuck in a forest with a man or a bear?
Bear. Man is scary.
With a bear.
What I've heard about bears, they don't always attack you, right? Unless you like with them. So maybe a bear.
Depends what man, but probably a bear.
Oh, 100% a bear, which is...
So I don't know if you guys are watching, there's points there. And the bear so far has 5 points. Now we know these are TikTok videos and these guys are over there in the street asking these questions, but nevertheless, the bear has 5 points. The man there has 0 points. These women are saying they would rather be stuck in the forest with a bear than they would a man, without knowing anything to do with the man. They're just assuming that the random man who's selected is most likely more dangerous than a wild animal. Let's keep listening.
Which is like terrifying to say, but...
Definitely a bear. Some men are very scary out there.
A bear. I would say a man.
Okay, so there you guys go. Men, congratulations, you got 1 point. You got 1 point. And so people reacted. This is one of those videos where I'm not going to spend too much time reading comments, even though we really like to do that here on the Coffee Pod. I'm just going to read a couple per video. First comment here says, as a bear, hearing this, thank you, ladies. I would love to be stuck with you. See, that's why you just can't help but read the comments, man. They're almost the best part of the videos. So That's a bear account they're commenting. Check out this response from a man. He says, I get that. You know what to expect from a bear. Yeah, like it's going to maul you to death, maybe. Somebody else here added, a bear. If I say I survived a bear attack, no one will ask what I was wearing and no one will defend the bear. So now you guys can kind of tell the approach that these women are taking towards this thing. Now, surviving a bear attack has to be the craziest scenario because it's highly unlikely for you to survive a bear attack. But more on that later. Here's another comment that says, worst case scenario, a bear would just kill me. But what do you guys think? Here's where things got crazy. At least from my perspective, maybe it's just my feed, but John Cannon, shout out to John Cannon on TikTok. He popped up on my feed kind of addressing this whole bear versus man conversation. And his video did like almost 1 million views. And he triggered a lot of people with his response. Let's check it out. Of course, he added a little bit of coffee in there. We all know how they feel about coffee. Let's get it.
So I know we've all seen the video. There's a guy walking around asking women, would you rather be stuck in the woods with a man or a bear? Most of the women said a bear. I just want y'all, just hear me out. I just want y'all to slow it down and realize that social media isn't real life. You pull up all these stats. 1 in 6 women will be attacked by a man in her lifetime. Only 1 in 1 million people have a chance to be attacked by a bear. Let's think about this. You live with and walk past in your life probably hundreds of thousands of men. You will probably never just walk past a bear, all right? So no shit, okay? I'm in Jacksonville, Florida. The chance that I'm gonna walk up on a Kodiak bear, what the slim to none ever in life, never. I don't even go to the zoo. What you talk about? That's one, that's proximity. The way y'all be bringing this shit up is ridiculous. The way that question should have been asked, would you rather be lost in the woods with a bear that wants to kill you or a man that wants to kill you? With a bear that wants to harm you or a man that wants to harm you?
I still think that they would hear that question and they're just so, bro, modern women are so delusional today. They would still probably say the bear. They probably would. But let's keep listening.
You.
I may be wrong.
The real answers. I ain't never hit a woman violently. I ain't never put a violent hand on a woman. I ain't never sexually a woman. No, none of that. Ever. Now, I ain't never even called a woman out of her name. Not to her face. I think all that is terrible and wrong. But y'all acting like men are scarier than bears? You ain't watched enough nature documentaries, baby. Go watch the one where they trying to get the pictures of that big-ass bear and the light from the flash scares him and a startled bear. I swear to God, the earth moved when he got startled. Just go watch a few videos. Right. The way y'all, boy, you dumb as hell.
All right, so I actually have like this thing where I'll just watch a bunch of bear videos because that was part of the reason why this was really an exciting topic for me. In my spare time, I'll just watch bears doing like crazy stuff. I'm going to show you some of that later on. But everybody, like half of TikTok, it seemed, responded back to this video. The women, the theys, them, she's, Lizzos, everybody was triggered. Top comment here says, after this video, I'll take 2 bears. This is a chick here, Brittany. Another chick here says, if we got attacked by bears, people would believe us and would not ask what we were wearing. Here's another comment that says, this video makes me choose the bear again. Somebody else here says, this is proof we've all made the right decision choosing the bear. Here's another person who says, see why we choose bear. Another person here added, oh, look, the point just flew overhead. And so the women are saying, well, at least if I get attacked by a bear, people will believe me. And they're saying that because they're using stats to prove things like, oh, every woman would be attacked by a man at least once in her lifetime. And this is what I don't like that's being implied, is that if you randomly took the average man and placed him somewhere in the forest, you're assuming that the average man would be dangerous. And here came all the bitter women and the simp men to defend that very delusional stance. This chick right here seemed traumatized and decided to take it out on this topic. Check it out.
But y'all acting like men are scarier than bears? You ain't watched enough nature documentaries.
A bear never tried to push me on the ongoing traffic simply because I said, no, I have a partner, but thank you.
Ma'am, what does that have to do with anything? That was the whole video. That's the whole video that you put together. And then here came another woman who tries to act like most men are grapists.
Acting like men are scarier than bears? You ain't watched enough nature documentaries, baby.
Tell me your female friends don't trust you without telling me your female friends don't trust you. Because really the only difference between being stuck in the woods with a man or a bear is we know the bear will probably kill us, but we don't know what the man's going to do, and oftentimes it's significantly worse than death.
Oftentimes, is it? Oftentimes what a man does is significantly worse than death? Do you guys feel this atmosphere? And it's not just online, because this translates to the way women view men in general, is that you're looked at as this villain who's more likely to be evil, bad. Why? Because of your masculinity. Because you're not a feminist. Or because maybe these chicks have been hurt by guys in the past, and so they literally think that they'll be better off out in the forest with a bear than they would a random man. The truth is, you probably would hope that you run into a man who might help you, right? Here's somebody else here by the name of Bob the Drag Queen. Let's check it out.
Lost in the woods with a bear that wants to kill you or a man that wants to kill you.
If a bear tries to kill you, it is either incredibly hungry or it feels incredibly threatened. You know, bears don't just go looking for human beings to erase.
The average man doesn't do that either. Do men just go around doing that?
Now, if a man wants to kill you, he just has to have his feelings hurt, be rejected, be horny, be deranged. It's a lot. The motives are much more plentiful.
All right, so he just completely like changed the whole script there. First he says man wants to kill you and bear usually doesn't need a reason to kill you. See, you're switching it. Let's check out some of these comments. Top comment says, also a bear would just kill me. Somebody else here says, the bear lives in the woods. The man followed me there. Come on, bro. Come on. Somebody else here added, I wasn't ready for this reality check. Oh, geez, bro. Get a hold of yourself. Somebody else here added, Captain Holt. Here's somebody else, a chick who says, I have actually came across a bear in the woods. It was terrifying, but it did let me go once it realized I had no plans to take its snacks. In parentheses, it says a berry bush. Somebody else here said bear instantly. All right, let's check out more responses here. Here is, you guys are going to, of course, recognize this chick. I've seen her everywhere. She kind of just talks really loud. I'm going to have to turn my volume down here. Here we go.
Women were asked.
You'd rather be stuck in a forest with a man or a bear?
Man is scary. With a bear.
Well, I've heard about bears. They don't always attack you, right? So maybe a bear.
Depends what man, but probably a bear.
Well, 100% a bear, which is like terrifying to say, but the responses from men have been terrifying. The men stitching the video have been like, these talking about they'd rather stay in the woods with a bear. But I bet you be asking me to protect you if that bear were to do anything to you, huh? That's why I can really appreciate the 90s, the 80s, the 70s, the 60s, and
most takes I've heard from this chick are just off. Just off. Like there's something off here.
50s. Those women allowed us to scare them. They allowed us to them. These new bitches are like, oh, I'm gonna protect myself. I'd rather stay with a bear. A bear. Does a bear have a? Can a bear provide to pay the bills? Calm down, Jedediah. No, because they acting like we a threat or something. That shit makes me wanna. That shit make me wanna do what they say we're gonna do. That shit make me wanna do what they afraid.
All right, that's a little funny.
We gonna do. Hey, I'm not mad
I'll say this. It will be this same chick. I promise you. Or women like her who, when a situation happens, will say, I just don't get what happened to men. Why aren't men just so willing to jump in front of bullets to protect them from danger? What happened to men? They aren't real men anymore. They don't like us.
I'm mad that they chose to be with the bears. Okay, all them hoes get eaten up by bears, then we can be what real men do. What real men do: play PS5, drink beers, diddle each other's dinglings.
All right. So I think maybe a comedian or something like that. Check out top comment here. It says for bear movement. That's okay. That's clever. Somebody else here says Mystical said it himself. Help the bear. And so they're talking about that Mystical freestyle, which should I play it? Maybe I should play it. No. We're going to stay on track. This commenter says some guy commented he'll sit and eat popcorn whilst he watched the bear attack you. Okay, sir, that's our point. So your point is what? That men won't protect you? Again, guys, the question is always, when it comes to the protection thing, is the same modern women who brag about not needing men are the ones that are angry that men refuse to protect them. And my question would be, is there anything that you believe modern women should give to men without negotiation? Something that men should expect. If women expect protection from men who aren't their husbands, who aren't their brothers or family members, because I'll protect those people, the women in my life, because they've earned that through blood or through relationship. It gets worse. That's all I'm going to say. It gets worse. So next here we have Dana Dane 1987. I think that's how you pronounce her TikTok handle. And she drinks coffee. And I've agreed with a lot, like 90% of the points that she makes. She makes a lot of sense. Now, what you're about to see is women get triggered by her not aligning with the sisterhood, aligning with the female narrative, the feminist narrative here in this discussion. Let's get it.
A bear. You would rather be stuck in the forest with a bear over a man. Let's go ahead and hang these internet conversations up right now expeditiously. This was just rage baiting at its finest, right? And I can't even entertain it because at the end of the day, we all know how thirsty women are for men. We all know how women bend over backwards for men. We all know the things that women are willing to do for men. So to believe that they'd rather be stuck in the forest with a bear rather than a man, be for real. The craziest part about the question was they never said a violent man. They never said a serial killer. They never said anything as far as the type of man that you be in the forest with. But immediately the first thing that they assumed is that the man would be more violent than the bear.
And that's my issue with it, man. Is when women today hear man, they think danger. They think danger. And they act like the average man is a villain. Is that how we want to raise up young men to feel about themselves? I disagree. I think it does more damage. And if you don't think that that's being reflected in young men coming up, and just how men in general view women also, then you're sadly mistaken. Let's keep listening.
As if on a day-to-day basis, they fighting for their life when they dealing with men and encountering men on a day-to-day basis. I seen one woman stitch the video and she made it seem as if on a day-to-day basis she have to go through all of these different things to avoid men. You probably need to seek help, because if you're dealing with trauma that's that severe that you're scared of all men, you probably need to go talk to somebody, because I'm not discounting the fact that you may have some trauma that stems from a man, but you need to talk to somebody if it's impacting your life that seriously and drastically. I'm so tired of watching women.
It was therapy session for him. Drink the coffee.
Drink the coffee, it'll make you feel better.
Yes.
Make it seem like men are the only threats to anybody, the only violent ones, when I watched countless shows about women being violent. I just watched a video online of a woman beating on a mentally ill on the school bus. You got countless teachers who get arrested for molesting students.
That's
you
true.
got women out here unaliving their children, unaliving their boyfriends because they can't manipulate him or get him to do what they want him to do. So to believe that men are the only threats to anybody, the only violent ones out here, no. bad people come in both sexes, both men and women. But to believe that y'all would rather be outside in the forest with a bear over a man, do it. Do it. I want to see you go out there in the forest, number one, by yourself, and then be out there with a bear. All right, and let's see how that go. Let's see if that's scarier than you walking down the street.
Right.
Let's see if that's scarier than you going to the grocery store and having to encounter men, and men actually having to be there. All right, y'all do the absolute most on this internet. Hang these internet conversations up now.
All right, so listen. You know this right here. A woman not falling in line, a woman not sipping that tea, a woman not buying into the delusion. They don't like that. They don't like that. That triggered them more than the whole topic. Let's check out some of these comments, see what people have to say. First comment here says, no, keep letting them choose me. So it says, no, keep letting them choose me. That's a bear profile there. That's funny right there. Here's another person. He says, they must think all bears are Winnie the Pooh. Somebody else here says, bear 100%. Here's another woman who says, I've been crossed by more women than men. I'm not subscribing to the BS. Shout out to you. Shout out to you, miss. So people in her comment section, they understand and they expect for her to keep it real and sane. But here came the responses to this video. It triggered a lot of chicks. Let's check it out. The first woman who was highly triggered by this was a feminist black single mom, and she started to hate on Dana. Let's check it out.
Dana, since 1987, has not only morphed into the female Kevin Samuels, but she's also deeply, seriously anti-intellectual and a big bully. So it's unsurprising that she would use this discourse around the bear or the man in the forest to turn it on its heel and be antagonistic and nasty to women.
And if you guys are thinking, well, Trisha, how do you know she's single, mother, feminist? It's right there. Like she lists them all right there on her page. Historian, YouTuber, black feminist, mother. I looked for a husband. Unless if she's hiding him, we know she'd be showing him off if she had one. So, of course, she's triggered, right? It makes sense.
Dana?
It makes sense.
Since 1980.
Let's pick off where we left off. Here we go.
Antagonistic and nasty to women. But it is nasty work, y'all. Like, desirability is not why people experience violence. The exact sort of thought process that Dana espouses in that video is how we silence actual victims. It is a strain of thought that often exists in the Black community where people who are perceived to be outside of the bounds of the spectrum of like European beauty standards.
Here we go. Now she's going to go into European beauty standards and why it's okay to be overweight and
are either outright dismissed or people just don't believe them to begin with when they claim acts of violence against them, particularly sexual violence, whether it's rape or sexual assault. Why would anybody bother with you? And that's exactly why people will go after them. The disabled, the undesired, the visibly disabled, the undesired are very vulnerable victims because people believe that desirability is attached to how people abuse power. But it's an abuse of power. And the powerless are the easiest to abuse. And Dana would understand this if she wasn't so opposed to reading a few pages from a book. If she wasn't so petrified by history, she could learn her something. But it's above her, unfortunately.
Okay. I mean, I wasn't listening, were you? What the hell was she talking about? Apparently she's smart, right? But sadly, still a modern woman. Very sad. Very sad. And then there were more people here hating in the comment section. This chick says that Dana since 1987 is sending me. So she was throwing shots at her. Here's somebody else who says, y'all didn't see this from day one. So they started to hate on her. And what did Dana do? Well, she decided to double down. That's what she does.
Y'all doing too much. This hypothetical question about this bear versus man in the forest is about to get a lot of y'all feelings hurt. Some of y'all women, you're doing too much. You are the bear in the forest. You need to be scared of yourself. At the end of the day, a lot of y'all are running around acting like you so scared of men, acting as if you fear for your life on a day-to-day basis. Girl, men don't even pay you no mind on a day-to-day basis. You go to the mall, they ignore you. You go to the store, they ignore you. You go to the club and the lounges with your homegirls and they talk to everybody but you.
Mercy.
Men ain't worried about you. You could be in the forest with a bear and a man and you got a better chance of the bear wanting to smash.
I need him to recover from that for a little bit. Just need to give him a moment to breathe. Breathe.
It's almost comical listening to a group of women who invite strangers from dating apps to their house to smash on the first day are scared of men. I can't tell the way y'all be getting pregnant by strangers, men who last names you don't even know.
Yo. Nah, she's speaking the truth right there. It would be the same chicks talking about, oh, I'll pick a bear any day, whose baby daddy is still locked up. Or they're going after the man who's definitely living a dangerous life, but they want to act like the average man is dangerous. Are there dangerous men out there? Yeah, of course they exist, just like dangerous women exist. Just keep listening.
Men who mama you don't meet until the baby shower. I can't tell you scared of these men. Not the way you be out here giving out your address so freely and letting them come over there and Netflix and chill. The way you be going over their house when you don't even know them. Jeffrey Dahmer would have a field day with this generation and somehow y'all scared of men.
Right.
You scared to be in a forest with a man. Be for real. Y'all are comical. Nobody even takes you serious at this point because you're a joke. Every time you get on this internet and open up your mouth, it's a contradiction and you're a joke.
All right. So listen, they were mad before and now they're furious. They're furious. This is what this whole conversation has turned into. And they came for her in the comment section. Here you see them with the colorful flags. Top comment here says they're not going to pick you up. So, of course, they're trying to call her pick me here. Somebody else here says, yikes, this was loud and wrong. Here's another woman who's trying to take a shot saying, pick me, choose me with the exclamation marks. Loud. Oh, we already read that. Here's another comment that said, still choosing the bear, honey, LOL. Here's another comment that says, they be thinking we were all Ted Bundy. And this chick says, you missed. Somebody else here says, this sounds personal. Just at her and leave us out of it. And so, as you guys can see, they were triggered. For example, this chick who revealed why she blocked Dana a while back. You're not going to believe what you're about to hear. Let's check it out.
Let me find out y'all still taking y'all advice from Dana Dan. I had to block that bitch a long time ago after the whole Sexy Red situation. I never followed her, but I just didn't want to see the shit on my timeline. Her platform is nothing but a cesspool full of misogyny and pick-me fucking behavior.
All right, so she said she blocked her because her feed is nothing but misogyny and pick-me behavior. But I want you to pay attention to what she said in the very beginning. The deciding factor for her to block her, the woman there who disagreed and says, you guys are acting like the average man is more dangerous than the bear, and that's just crazy. The reason she blocked her was because Dana called out Sexy Red for promoting and releasing degenerate music. Listen, one more time.
Let me find out y'all still taking y'all advice from Dana Dan. I had to block that bitch a long time ago after the whole Sexy Red situation.
Sexy Red situation. Well, what's that? Here it is. This chick was mad that there are people out here who are speaking up against toxic music in the culture. And that's the reason she blocked Dana. Check it out. Here it is.
If you haven't seen it already, this creator that goes by the name of Dana Dane got the community going back and forth right now. And it's all because of a video that she made a couple of days talking about the rapper Sexy Red. Check this out.
You cannot convince me otherwise that Sexy Red is not an industry plant that was put here to help finalize the destroying of the black woman image.
She goes on to call Sexy Red's music trash. She also says artists like Kaya and Trina's music is better than hers. It's not as vulgar or as disgusting as her music is.
What you guys don't know is that Sexy Red actually got involved in this conversation and actually responded to Dana. Let's keep watching.
Sexy Red followed up with her own comment and said she is young and turned and that Dana's old ass is just mad.
How's you got a big name in your mouth and you super broke? It be the brokest bitch, the bottom of the barrel got something to say about it that's getting money. How's you hating on my come up and you is broke? I think that's why, cause you broke.
After Sexy Red left that comment and made that video, Dana couldn't wait to respond. So this is what she said.
Well, if it ain't Miss Sexy Red that made herself into my comment section, it's nice to have you here, young thug.
Yo, honestly, this picture of comparison between Young Thug and Sexy Red, they do look like they could be related. Let's keep listening.
Y'all girls kill me using age as an insult. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but we look about the same age. I said what I said about the music. The music is horrible. All right. It is what it is. You can feel however you want to feel about it. You know somebody lost the argument when the only thing they can say is that you broke.
Now that you guys have some background on the back and forth between these two, I'm going to give you my thoughts. You got to understand that Sexy Red is not being forced upon us. If people didn't like her or weren't receptive to her, she wouldn't be pushed as hard as she's being pushed right now. People like Sukiana and Sexy Red exist in real life, so they feel familiar for a lot of black people, and that's why they resonate with them so much. So if you've never grown up in the hood or if you never grew up around black people in general, you may not understand. Whether these type of people make music or not, they exist and they deserve to have some representation too.
Okay. You guys hear that? She justified. Listen, I have been very honest. I've told you guys, I listen to rap. I've told you guys, I get it, right? I understand. Listen, I am sometimes ashamed of just how much my ears love some of those songs. I get it, man. The beat is catchy, especially when you're working out. You want to listen to something that motivates you. And rap does a good job of that. But I had to learn that we have to have a standard. And her response and people like her to black people who listen to this music in the West and say, you know what, that's too much, is, oh, you just don't understand the experience. You're not from the hood or you can't relate to those people. No, sometimes people have crossed a certain moral code that they may personally have. And I know people are going to be triggered by what I'm going to say next. I remember Candace Owens. She said, yes, that music has always existed, and it has always existed. But it's never been as popular, the go-to, and just readily accepted as it is today. Listen, guys, I'm not saying you can never listen to rap or telling you what you should listen to. I'm just saying if you're somebody who cares about integrity, if you're somebody who cares about honesty, then you probably want to think twice about listening to somebody who's talking about killing a bunch of people in their music, and they're pushing a very toxic message, encouraging single mother households and such. And it's a struggle. I know this because I go through that struggle. I love music, bro. But I always encourage people to create their own standards of lines that they're just not willing to cross. I bring up King Von a lot because after I watched the King Von documentary, I told myself, man, I can't listen to any more King Von music. Man was a serial killer. I just can't. Not in good conscience. Now, there's other songs where I'm like, maybe people may disagree. But I'm making an attempt, and I think there's nothing wrong with people raising their standards. And the fact that this chick used that as a deciding factor to be like, oh, I blocked her because she doesn't support Sexy Red, should tell you everything you need to know about her. The next thing that the modern women decided to do is completely switch and change the question about the bear. Don't forget, this is all back to the bear, right? That's what triggered this whole conversation. And this is what they changed it to just to get men to agree with them. Check it out.
Dads with daughters. Would you rather have your daughter be in the woods, like little daughter in the woods with a bear, or a man? Maybe asking it this way will allow men some extra perspective of what women are saying, because stitch this and not show me that you're emotional about having to make that decision. That if her life depended on it and you had to choose one, the bear or the man, which would you choose? And I think your answer can absolutely make other men who just are so oblivious to what women are saying now understand.
So this woman's like, let's change it. Let's make it a little girl, right? An infant, or, I don't know, a 3-year-old, a 3-year-old girl who wanders off into the wilderness. And now you're wondering, where's my daughter? And ask fathers, what would you be glad to hear? That she ran into a bear, or a man found your daughter? And this woman is saying that most men would be like, oh, I'd rather she runs into a wild bear. The delusion's crazy. The justification to prove the delusion is even crazier. Check out some of these comments. Top comment says, are you insane? You have to be. Here's somebody else that says, it's bear or man, not Bundy versus Pooh Bear. Right. It's like Ted Bundy or Winnie the Pooh. Here's somebody else that says, pick everyone's life, guards or sharks. Somebody else who says, chronically online is chronic. So you may have thought that ended there, but no, these chicks actually started to ask their husbands this. Here's a wife asking her husband that exact same question. Check it out.
Would you rather our daughter be in the woods with a bear or a man?
Like, is the bear near her?
They're just in the woods.
You say it like man. What kind of man?
That's all we know. Man or bear?
I don't like it. I don't like either.
The way she emphasized man, now she's recording him and she's going to post it online. You better say the right thing, bro. You better do what your wife wants you to do.
I don't know.
What about woman or bear?
Woman.
Yeah. Do you have an answer?
I'm leaning towards the bear.
Okay, so he folded there. Right. He folded. We can assume that that's just that there shows how everything goes in that relationship. Let's check out a response here from John Cannon. Let's get it.
Dads with daughters, would you rather have your daughter be in the woods, like little daughter in the woods with a bear, or a man? Maybe asking it this way will allow men some extra perspective of what women are saying, because stitch this and not show me that you're emotional about having to make that decision.
If I ruffle some feathers with the first take, y'all about to be sick. I'm married with a 4-year-old daughter, a 4-year-old son, and a 1-year-old daughter. If somehow my baby girls were wandering through the forest, you really think I want a bear to find them before a human male?
It's crazy.
Let me just give you a moment of clarity, okay? I fully understand what y'all are saying. Y'all saying he's missing the point. I swear I'm not. Logically, most men would see a woman in the forest and go, and keep pushing, hiking, whatever he's doing. Y'all are comparing the average man to Jeffrey Dahmer or something. Y'all are comparing the average man to like somebody you watch on a true crime show. And I get it. It's everywhere. Your friends, something might have happened to you, something might have happened to somebody you love, all that. But by far, most men ain't never and will never do no crazy shit like that. It's kind of like, as a black man, someone comparing me to these black dudes who in gang violence, and I've never had as much as a speeding ticket.
Right.
Like, I get it. I get it. The rate of violence in black men is high compared to other men. Are you going to get me to take accountability for what they're doing? Absolutely not. 0% chance. I'm never going to say sorry for nothing to happen in a gang shooting. I don't know nothing about that. I'm not about to sit up here and talk about it and why you so scared about it either. Shit, I'm scared of them too. Like I said months ago, women...
Not that topic again. Let's keep listening.
...get guns, shoot bad men. You think I carry a gun every day because I'm scared a woman is gonna attack me? Y'all problem is y'all think I'm missing the point. I'm not.
Right.
At all.
Right.
I'm skipping over the point on purpose because the point is to group me in with rape. The point is to group my brother, my dad, my friends in with rape. That's not who I hang around. I'll never answer for them. That's like me telling a regular woman, like, you know, those women who beat kids, you know, because they had postpartum depression. Yeah, y'all women are crazy. No, those women are crazy. I'll never put that on y'all or my wife or my mom or my cousins or my god sisters. That would be...
But what I will put on most women is that they don't drink enough coffee. Hit that like button if you agree. And if you made it this far, hit that like button too.
Asinine, right? As asinine as expecting us to want a bear to find our daughters in the woods before a male. I want a search party of males, capable males to find my baby. Right. Are you dumb?
Hilarious response. Let's check out some of these comments. Top comment says, "Are bears no longer deadly?" Right. By the way, I've got some bear videos coming up here shortly. Somebody else who said they be thinking we're literal villains. You had all types of people coming in, giving their opinions, but notice how all the men who sided with the delusional chicks, the men who sided with the delusional chicks were just a bit off, like this guy.
If I were alone in the woods, would you rather me encounter a bear or a man?
I mean, is it a friendly man?
We don't know anything else. It's just man or bear.
You see, on the surface, this man looks like he may enjoy a nice brew in the morning before starting his day, but I want you to pay close attention to his nails.
I feel more like bear. I don't know, because I feel like I would know what the outcome would be with a bear.
What is that right there? Right? No man who paints his nails like this should be or can be trusted to answer this question logically.
Even if it was like an aggressive one, I don't know what the outcome would be with like a bad man.
Yeah.
I can't even listen to the rest of this. Moving on. Wait, let's check out some comments. Let's see. Probably some interesting comments here. Top comment said they always ask, is he a friendly man? Yeah, that's our dilemma too. We never know. Oh my gosh. Somebody else who says every partner gives the same answer. They know. Wow. They know that most men are dangerous and evil. Crazy, bro. What a crazy world we live in.
I would rather be...
What a crazy world we live in where you're looked at as a villain. Here's a gentleman that we can agree with. This man looks sane. Let's listen to what he has to say.
I would rather be woken up at 3 a.m. by men in dark cloaks, oiled up and tossed into Jonestown, being chased by Prime P. Diddy, juiced up off a super soldier serum Kool-Aid, than ever be trapped in the woods with a bear. What are y'all on about, bro? What are we doing here? A bear can't even understand you, bro.
Right.
I'm really hearing people say, oh, at least you could reason with a bear.
I'm still stuck on him saying he would rather be chased by Prime P. Diddy. That's crazy.
No, you can't. It's a wild animal, bro. It doesn't give a what you're talking about. It doesn't even understand you. I mean, sure, maybe you could yell and tell it to stop, and it might be like, oh, I think this creature doesn't like this. I mean, there might be a 15% chance that he leaves you alone, but at that point, he's already nibbled on a bit of your small intestine. I'm not knocking the fact that there are indeed weird men in the world, bro, but we can have better conversations than these weird hypotheticals. The only thing it's doing is sparking fear in people. There is no way motherfuckers talking about, I would rather be with a bear than a man. No, you wouldn't, bro. If I tossed you into the woods with a bear, you would probably be calling for a man in your life to come help you out that situation. Like, what are we doing here, bro? A lot of people do this thing I like to call performative feminism. They're not really feminists, bro. They're just saying what they think they should say. And yes, I do think it is important to examine why some women would even say they would choose being with the bear than a man. Now listen, I'm not a world-renowned feminist scholar. I'm not in school for gender studies, so I really don't know. I can acknowledge that weirdos need to be taken off the street and that there is more we can do to help women feel safe without feeding into these weird conversations. Y'all are using a BuzzFeed video to spark a conversation about feminism. We've already been doing this, bro. We don't need these weird hypotheticals.
All right. So there's that. But the nail in the coffin for me here was this video of a man whose mom actually ran into a bear. You know what it did? Mold her within an inch of her life. Check it out.
Would you rather have your daughter be in the woods, like little daughter in the woods with a bear, or a man?
Hey, Amanda, my mom got mauled by a bear. Here's a book she wrote about it.
Chomp, chomp, chomp. I am not trying to laugh at that situation, but what a title. It goes on to say how I survived a bear attack and other cautionary tales. This is crazy.
Here's a better look. So even though the question's not really in good faith, probably, I have some experience with this question. Would I rather my mom be in the woods with a guy, or a creature that would hunt her, jump up, grab her by the face, chomp down, cause her to have to take her thumb, jab it into its eyes to get enough mouth space to call to the dogs, an Irish Wolfhound and a Mastiff, to come over and tackle it off, and then crawl through a rattlesnake-infested bramble thicket to her car, where she drove 3 miles down a dirt road, with her face hanging off, at one point looking into the rearview mirror and saying,
He said with her face hanging off.
"Oh, that's weird, my white hat stayed on, turned out to be her skull," making it to the fire station, getting helivac to the college.
She thought her white hat was still on her head, and it turned out to be her skull.
And then, going through 17 hours of painful surgery to get back to something resembling a human, the answer may surprise you. If you're still on the fence about it and have a strong stomach, Google image search Lena Hansen bear. But I'm a guy, so I decided to take it a step further and ask my mom. Because taking away the bear, she's been through things you wouldn't even possibly begin to imagine. And her answer was, well, the word asinine was thrown around a lot. So if you're asked this question and you take more than a second to come up with the same species as your answer, then honestly, I'm grateful that you've lived such a privileged life that your answer is the bear.
All right, so to conclude this video, I'll do this. I personally don't think most people really know how dangerous a bear can be when it's hungry or feels threatened. I don't think a lot of people realize how dangerous bears actually are and how viciously they can kill you if they plan to. It can literally rip you to shreds, especially if you run on like some cubs with the mother bear. It can get really crazy. So let's say this. Let's say someone did run into a bear, which is actually very realistic for someone to do. A lot of people do run into bears. And for the sake of the examples I want to show you guys, I'm going to change up the scenario like the women did here towards the end of the video and say that bear was actually not in a good mood. That bear was upset. It was hungry and felt like you were a threat. You might think to yourself, well, maybe I'll run away. Most people don't know that there is no man or woman on planet Earth that can outrun a bear. Most people don't know that bears are faster than most dogs. A bear can keep up with a deer. Think about that for a second. As big as it is, it can keep up with some of the most agile animals that are 3 to 4 times smaller than it is. And when you think of this whole example that's used, a woman might be able to outrun a man and get away depending on how fit she is or how fast she can run, depending, right? But maybe you're thinking, you know what? I'll be smarter. Why run when you could just climb a tree, right? I'll just climb a tree. I won't run. I'll just avoid it by climbing a tree. Did you know that bears are expert tree climbers and can climb trees faster than the average American can run? Check it out. I brought the proof. See it with your own eyes. There it is. Let's take it back to the beginning. I want you to see how fast that bear is climbing that tree. One more time. One more time. Look at this. You're dead. There's no hope. There's no hope. Now you're wondering if you'll be able to make it to the tree in the first place. I understand. I get you. But hey, you could always jump into the nearby lake that's in all the like Hollywood movies, right? There's always some water. And you could jump in and swim like your life depends on it. Because it will. Because bears love to swim. Especially polar bears. like this one that looks like it's been training for a diving competition for the Olympics. Check it out. Now you're thinking to yourself, well, I'll have a boat. That will get me away. If I have a boat, I can swim and the bear won't be able to catch me. Yeah, you're probably right. That's how these guys got away right here. That's crazy. That was a near-death experience. If that boat would have had something wrong with it, or something happened and the bear got on that boat, mercy. Lastly, man, you have to understand that the only thing you can really hope and pray for is whatever damage is actually inflicted on you isn't life-threatening. Kind of like a bullet. You just pray and hope it didn't hit any vital organs. People say, oh yeah, stand there, look big, and don't be afraid, because that's the only choice you really have. And then there's also luck and catching the bear in a good mood. I'm not saying bears are evil. I'm just saying they are wild beasts at the end of the day. And comparing the average man and saying the average man is more dangerous than a bear, to me, is absolutely insane. Guys, listen, as always, I'm curious to know, what do you think? Leave your comments down below. I appreciate you as always for checking out another episode of What's Brewing. Till next time, I'm out. Peace.